Hi, what's up, Dominators? Welcome back to the ShiHai's channel, and today I have with me my Nubatama deck. So as you can see right here, this deck after a boost from V-BT05 has a decent boost, I would say, but Tamahagane still sucks as a triple rare. So you see me not running the deck. Usually we follow the format of where I lay out all the cards, then we go through the cards, the skills. Why do I run them, and obviously later a little bit of combos here and there. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. So we got a new V-BT05 Nubatama VR. I have 4 SVRs right here. Jamyocongo. Skill is basically Vanguard skill. I think it's one of the shortest skill in terms of Vanguard having the shortest skill. One of the VRs having the most shortest skill. On place and at the end of turn, your opponents will have to discard their cards from their hand until they have 6 cards left. And then if you have a grade 3 in the soul, your opponent discards to 4 instead. So what does this mean? That it actually restricts the opponent's hand size to 6 or 4 in the case that you have a grade 3 in your soul. But basically what this card does, it actually applies a lot of pressure, and your opponent will have to think carefully of what to discard. At the same time, most of the time they will discard like either triggers or key combo pieces in decks such as, let's say, Royal Paladin, where you need a Blaster Blade, you need Tristans, you need Gordon. You have to think, your opponent will have to think harder on what to discard. So that's one of the reasons why this card is actually broken in premium, but it's still a bit slow because you still need a grade 3 in soul. But as a first ride, it's still good against decks such as OTT or decks that can build an insane amount of hand size. Riding this card is actually a really good option for your first ride. So I think 4 off is very necessary in the deck. Moving on to the old VR, we have Mangatsu Storm. Reasons why we still play this, because after you ride into Jamyocongo, at the end of turn, your opponent still has to discard to 4 cards or 6 cards depending on whether you have a grade 3 soul. After that, most of the time you will re-ride from Jamyocongo. If you have a grade 3 soul, your opponent's cards for hand size, you will ride into Mangatsu Storm, and then Mangatsu Storm skill will proc when you bounce the rear back to your hand. Basically allows for the multi-attacking combo. At the same time, with your opponent only having 4 cards to guard, most of the time probably, it's very hard for them to guard most of your attacks, especially when you have around 5 attacks to guard. Basically, Mangatsu Storm skill also allows you to provide special interactions with your opponent Vanguard, in which you may count +1, retire 2 of your rear guards, and the attack is negated when your opponent Vanguard attacks your Vanguard. So yeah, this only applies when your opponent Vanguard attacks your Vanguard, which is on Mangatsu Storm, and then you may count +1, you restart 2 rear guards, and the attack is negated. Second skill is once per turn, when your rear guard is bounced back to your hand. So when you return the rear guard back from the field to your hand, you may soul +1 grade 3, draw a card, and then you may superior card 3 cards from your hand down to the rear guard circle, and then they all gain 5k until the end of turn. Take note that you are able to choose a protect marker from your hand and not call it, so it counts as 1 unit. I'm sure some people actually got confused on my other video where I versus OTT, and then some people actually asked why I only called 2 cards instead of 3 or something, because it's mandatory to call 3, but you are able to choose a protect marker. Moving on, we got KSC. So KSC I think is necessary to run in the deck. Actually not really necessary, but I like to run because it acts as a really good board clear for your opponent. At the same time, if you are Jamyocongo, they're restricted to 4 hand size, and you clear you clear the whole board at the same time. Basically, Vanguard rear guard skill, soul +3, you discard 2 sentinels from your hand, so it can either be protect markers or it can be Kanzens. This unit gains 15k, and then you choose all of your opponent's rear guards and you return them back from the rear guard circle back to the hand, and then discard 5 cards. So take note that you need to return at least 1 rear guard from your opponent's field back to the hand in order for them to discard 5. If they don't have any board at all, this skill can't work. So yeah, basically it's not necessary to run this card. I've seen people run Void Master instead. Void Master acts as a good card to replace KSC. I don't really know the full name, I just call it KFC because it's like a chicken. But yeah, Void Master is a better alternative, obviously, because it allows your opponent to not intercept, and at the same time, you may count +1 at the end of battle they attack. You may return either your rear guard or your opponent's rear guard back to the hand. Alright, moving on to the grade 2s, we got Mangatsu Gale. So I think this is one of the best grade 2 games that you ever have in the at the start. Counter blast, plus 1 on place, you may draw 1. And then the rearguard skill is end of battle that you attack, you may shove this card into your soul and you return 1 rearguard from the rearguard circle back to your hand. So basically the best grade 2 game for rushes, and then after when you attack with it, you may shove into soul, you bounce the rearguard back so your opponent can't hit it. Moving on to the other grade 2 that I run, 2 copies. Usually you ideally want to run either like 3 or don't run this at all, but basically I run this because of the early game. At the same time, you are able to somewhat high roll to soul charge into a grade 3 so that you can first strike into Jamyocongo. On place, if you have 3 or more units, you may counter blast 1. On place, you may counter blast 1, and if you have 3 or more units, including a Vanguard, obviously, this unit gets 6k and you soul charge 1. But make sure that you have less than 1 phase start as well, because if you have more than 1 phase start, you are unable to soul charge, if I'm not wrong, for this skill. So basically, counter blast 1, 3 or more units as the first condition. Second condition, you must have 1 or less open counter blast in order for you to soul charge, which in the early game obviously you would have. And then you may high roll into soul charge any one of the grade 3s. That's one of the reasons why I play 11 grade 3s. So if you do soul charge into grade 3, your first right Jamyocongo is actually quite devastating to your opponent. Moving on to the other grade 2s that I run, 12k base, very good. Against clans that can rush very hard, such as let's just say Narukami, basically any SL clan, especially Novas, can rush very hard. Run 12k base. Recommended to run 3 or more. I run 3 because most of the time I find myself riding into it, but if for more consistency's sake, you may run 4. Last grade 2 we run is this 8k base grade 2. I don't really particularly like it, but I do run it because it enables to soul charge as well. On place rearguard skill, you choose 1 unit plus 3. If you choose a grade 3 instead, you soul charge 1. So you may high roll into any of the grade 3s if you are on Jamyocongo, and then you on place, you soul charge 1 grade 3. At the end of the turn, your opponent will still have to discard 4 cards. The second skill rearguard is at the end of battle that you attack, you may soul blast 1 and return this card back to your hand. Basically enabler for Mangatsu Storm, so one of the reasons why I play as well. Moving on, we got the other grade 1 right here, the new grade 1 in V-BT05, which I think is really strong as well, but I don't recommend to run 4. It's 2 or 3 is the best combo. Basically, rearguard skill, you may act once per turn, you may soul blast 1, your opponent discards a card from their hand, and then this unit gains 10k for each grade of your of the card that was discarded by your opponent. Basically, if your opponent discards a grade 3, this unit gains 30k, opponent discards grade 2, 20k, grade 1, 10k, grade 0, you gain 0k, obviously. But then after that, your opponent reveals the top card of his or her deck and then adds it to the hand, so it basically refunds the cost. But at the same time, this unit gains power, so it's like a win-win situation. If your opponent discards a trigger, they lose trigger power. If they do not discard a trigger, this unit gains power, in which they have to throw more triggers, so it doesn't really make a difference. Moving on to the old grade 1, the only counter charger in your deck. Basically almost the same skill as the grade 2, it's supposed to tie with the grade 2. On place, you may discard a card from your hand. This unit gains 3k, and then if you have 3 or more units and less than 1 face up counter blast, you may counter charge 1 and draw 1. So take note, there's a comma between the skills. So if you are unable to resolve the draw 1, counter charge 1, you're unable to resolve the first part of the skill, where you have 3 or more units and you have less than 1 face up counter blast, you're unable to counter charge 1 and draw 1, so it's not really a filter in a sense. You have to make sure that you have less than 1 counter blast, and at the same time must have 3 or more units on the field. So it's pretty bad, but at the same time, most of the time you have at least 3 or more, and counter blast in this deck is actually almost free. Most of the cards doesn't really use counter blast, but yeah, it's a way for you to counter charge in case you use additional counter blast. And we should get to the next card, which is Ogoro card. That's one of the skills that's one of the names I actually remember. On place, you discard a card and then double the power of grade 3 in the same column as this unit. So basically, usually you tie up with KFC here after using KFC skill, so KFC with 26. On place, in the same column, you discard a card, it becomes 26 times 2, it becomes 52k unit. And then the second skill is actually why I run it. Basically, rearguard skill, end of battle that is boosted, you may counter blast 1, return this card back to your hand, enable for Mangatsu Storm skill. At the same time, maybe early rushes where you got additional counter blast to use, just call this card, boost, rush, and then at the end you may counter blast 1 and send it back to your hand after the battle. Last but not least, we run Fuki. Fuki, I think, is a really good card in terms of the multi-attacking from Mangasu Storm. Basically, continuous rearguard skill. If you bounce to your opponent rearguard or you bounce your rearguard back to your hand during your turn, this unit gains 6. So it's actually a 14k beat stick or 14k booster, and take note it's continuous. So as long as you do it once within your turn, it enables throughout the whole turn already. So good for multi-attacking, especially for Mangasu Storm. Call it a booster, it's a free 14k booster, so why not? Starter we run, obviously, and then last but not least we got the triggers. 4 draw triggers, 8 crits and 4 heals. I think basically pretty standard. I've seen Nubatama builds run more than 4 draw triggers, in which I don't think is needed. I think crits are much more scary in the deck now, with you playing so much more aggressive and your opponent having only 4 cards to guard because of Jamyocongo skill. Running crits is more optimal rather than running more draws, because yeah, you sure have that big ass hand size, but what's the point of you having the big ass hand size where you can't end your opponent off? So the crit applies the additional pressure rather than, you know, vanilla draws, and you lose shield value out of that as well. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning into my Nubatama deck recipe for standard. I may do one for premium soon, depending on, you know, whether I actually build premium, and I have to formulate the deck recipe for that as well. But for now, hope you guys enjoyed. This deck, I would say, is still pretty bad, but against decks in casual, fun casual games is actually really strong. And if you pull off the combo, high rolling into a grade 3 on your first grade 3, right? With a grade 3 also into Jamyocongo is actually really strong and fun to see your opponent so-called cry with 4 cards in hand only. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys liked it. Post in the comments below whether this deck is good or whether it's bad. What's your comments about this deck, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.